Morning, I'm Dwayne Gregory, presiding officer of the Suffolk County Legislature. Welcome to today's press conference in relation to increasing the wage and the wage board initiated by Governor Cuomo. We are rallying for our fight to raise the wage for fast food workers to $15. There are 24,074 fast food workers on Long Island, and they make an average of $16,363 a year. Governor Cuomo has implemented a wage board which will be meeting at the Nassau Community College on June 18th. And we are here to join to support the movement. Long Islanders from labor, faith, academic, small business, and immigrant communities are gathered to show their solidarity with the fast food workers. 2.5 years ago, fast food workers walked off their jobs in New York, calling for $15 in union rights. At that time, most people thought they had no chance to win, but they were onto something. By going on strike 9 times and joining together for higher pay, they have shined a spotlight on an economy that is rigged in favor of the wealthy and powerful at the expense of the rest of us. Governor Cuomo's historic action is a game changer that will lift nearly 200,000 fast food workers out of poverty and into middle class.
Woo! All right, all right.
It's a win-win for workers and our economy. This bold and transformative action will position New York as a national leader in the fight for fair pay for our fast food workers. The governor is impaneling a wage board to investigate and make recommendations on the minimum wage for fast food workers. It's a historic victory in the global fight for 15 and fast food campaign. I have several of my legislative colleagues and several speakers that will be speaking, but right now I'm going to introduce Veronica Ramos, a fast food worker.
Buenos días a todos.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Gracias por estar acá y tomarnos en cuenta.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Mi nombre es Verónica Ramos. Tengo 35 años.
My name is Veronica Ramos. I'm 35 years old.
Y estoy aquí hoy por el movimiento de los trabajadores de lucha por 15.
And I'm here today, thankfully, because of the movement of fast food workers.
Los trabajadores de comida rápida empezaron el movimiento por el derecho a un salario justo de $15 y una unión.
Fast food workers are the ones that started this movement for $15 and the right to have a union.
Por eso ahora el gobernador Cuomo ha elegido un comité de sueldos para investigar los bajos salarios en los restaurantes de comida rápida.
And that's why Governor Cuomo today has started this wage board committee to investigate our low wages.
Tengo 11 años trabajando para McDonald's y mi salario por ahora es de $9.85.
I've worked for McDonald's for 11 years and I only make $9.85.
No tengo ningún beneficio, no tengo derechos a vacaciones, no días de enfermedad, no tengo nada.
So on top of that, I also don't have any benefits. I don't have health insurance, I don't have vacation, I don't have paid sick days, I don't have anything.
El dinero que gano no es suficiente para ayudar a mi familia. Tengo que reunir 3 de mis cheques para yo poder pagar la renta del lugar donde vivo.
So what I'm making is not enough. I have to wait till I get 3 checks for the month to put together for my rent in a studio apartment that I'm really this year.
Después de 11 años de trabajar con McDonald's, que es una compañía billonaria con B, no es justo que tenga que vivir cheque a cheque.
So after working for 11 years and working for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, billion with a B, it's not fair that I have to live check to check.
No es justo que tenga que preguntar por un salario y al recibirlo sean 35 centavos al año.
It's not fair that when we ask for a raise, maybe they give us 30 cents a year as a raise.
Quiero estudiar, quiero comprar mi auto, quiero ayudar a mi familia.
I want to study, I want to be able to buy a car, I want to be able to help my family.
El dinero que gano en estos momentos no me alcanza, no es suficiente para estos sueños que yo tengo.
The money that I'm making right now, it's not enough. It's not enough to make my dreams happen.
Quiero
wage board hearing at Nassau Community College at 12 o'clock on June 18th, which is a Thursday, and demand with me $15 and nothing less.
Thank you, Veronica. Next, we'll have Dennis Jones, President of the Hempstead Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, all. Good morning. I first held my job when I was about 16 years old in 1977. The minimum wage then was $2.30 and went up a whole 35 cents the next year. The train, the bus fare was about 50 cents and would rise to 60 cents in 1980. Back then in 1977, an average cost of a home was $49,000. The average income was $15,000. The average monthly rent $240 a month. Cost of a gallon of gas 65 cents. Cost of a first class stamp 13 cents. Cost of a dozen eggs 82 cents. Cost of a gallon of milk $1.68. Fast forward to now, the hard times. A new home, let's not kid ourselves. We're not even thinking about that right now. Rent, about $2,000 on an average, $2,000 a month. That 50-cent train ride that I took to work is now $2.75 and $3 for just a single MetroCard ride. Gallon of gas, $3.19. Stamps, 49 cents. Eggs, almost $4. Milk, about $5. Current minimum wage is only $8.75 and is scheduled to increase only to $9. We are putting all of our families in jeopardy. We are putting all of our hard workers in jeopardy. We're asking that the governor and that all of the lawmakers in this state look toward $15 an hour for our hard workers. That's what we want, and we're not taking anything less. The average cost of spending is almost 4 times what it was in 1977. But the minimum wage has not increased at that rate. So raising the minimum wage in New York State would actually be a positive thing. Not something, it would also be something that would help our families survive this economy. And that it does something else for small business. It encourages spending. It encourages boosting our economy up. So we as the Chamber of Commerce are looking for such a wage increase. We're out here joining with all of these organizations and our elected officials to call for that wage hike. Because if we can win $15 in New York, it will make it easier for workers in retail, home care, child care, and in the industries. We will win wages in all of those workplaces. We will be able to survive inflation. They will be able to buy a loaf of bread and be able to buy some milk and be able to feed their families. So we're calling for that wage increase to $15. Thank you.
Gobernador, escucha, estamos en la lucha. Gobernador, escucha, estamos en la lucha.
All right, as I mentioned before, they stamped my passport, allowing me to come into Nassau County today. We have several of my colleagues from Nassau County Legislature that are here. First being Carrie Szilagyi.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning.
You know, this morning I went to McDonald's and I thought about what's going on here today, this important issue that we're here talking about. And I see this bag here from McDonald's that says, I'm loving it. Well, I'm here to say, I'm not loving it. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today because this is the American thing to do. This is the American thing to do, to demand fair pay for hard work. That's what being an American is about. I represent the 3rd Legislative District that includes Elmont, Franklin Square, Valley Stream, Meadowmere Park, Inwood, South Lowell Park. I'm happy to be joined by 2 other colleagues in the legislature who really care about economic justice. That's Laura Curran from the Baldwin area. And then also Delia Mr. Reggie Witten from North Hempstead. Thank you so much for being here. This is not a black or white issue. This is an American issue. This is about us making sure that we can provide for our families. I represent so many hardworking people, law-abiding people, people who believe in the American dream. But they can't reach that dream if they're making $8.75 per hour. They work good work. They believe in working. They deserve fair pay. So I'm so thankful to be here. Long Island and Nassau County specifically couldn't be a more expensive place to live. With skyrocketing taxes, expensive housing and rental market, and a just general high cost of living, it's extremely hard to get working families to be able to afford to live here. Top that with the infrastructure that does not do fair share for supporting them with well-funded public transportation. It's time to say enough is enough.
Yes.
I'm here to say today that we must raise the wage of fast food workers to $15 an hour. The Nassau County Legislature passed the living wage bill in 2007. It is a shame that we're here in 2015 and we still don't have an increase in the minimum wage. There are nearly 25,000 fast food workers on the island that make an average of $16,363 a year. We all know that in order to live here in Nassau County, the average family must make $70,000 to live here, compared to Miami, for example, which is only $38,000. If you're not making that, you're living below the poverty level. It's time that we realize that Nassau County and Long Island are working families. But this isn't just fighting for working families. This is fighting for the working poor. That same struggle that Martin Luther King died for when he was fighting for sanitation workers down south, this is that same struggle. And so I thank everyone here for being here today, because you're doing something that is so patriotic. Just like those freedom fathers that went down south to fight for people's freedom, you are doing something to liberate and to free other people. It's a coincidence that the hearing will be on June 18th. June 18th. Because just the day after, June 19th, is the day that we celebrate the freedom of African-American slaves in Texas and throughout the South. This is part of that same struggle, because as we know, our roots in America are tainted roots, and we must cure that root by fighting for justice. So thank you everyone for being upstanders and not bystanders. And Governor Cuomo for implementing this wage board hearing here on Long Island. So many people look at Long Island, perceive us as wealthy and without the same economic issues as the rest of the state. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Long Island is struggling. Our residents are struggling to survive. We have families living in poverty, and we lack affordable housing options that are safe and legal to offer to our lowest wage workers. Enough is enough. We must do what's right. We must raise the wage. The wage board has the power and the responsibility to fix an industry whose business model keeps thousands of New Yorkers in poverty and relies on taxpayers to pick up the tab. I urge the wage board in the strongest possible terms to adopt a $15 wage for New York's fast food workers. Governor Cuomo's historic action is a game changer that will lift nearly 200,000 fast food workers out of poverty and into the middle class. This is about economic common sense. Let's expand the middle class. It's a win-win for workers and our economy. This bold and transformative action will position New York as a national leader in the fight for fair pay and for fast food workers. New York has always been a leader in workers' rights. We are once again making history by setting a new standard that will serve as a national model for fair pay for fast food workers. I'm urging everybody to wake up, especially our young people who go to our community college. Stop keeping up with the Kardashians and keep up with reality.
All right.
This is real. Please come to the hearing on the 18th. Bring your friends. Let your position be heard. Don't be left out of the conversation. Thank you very much, and God bless America.
My wife may disagree with the Kardashian thing. She likes Alyssa Curran.
Good morning, everybody. Well, the good news is we have more jobs on Long Island. The bad news is most of these jobs are low-wage jobs. If you're making the minimum wage and you're working a 40-hour work week, you're still below the poverty line. And here on Long Island, where there's a dearth of affordable housing, property taxes are too high, the numbers just don't add up. So we're fighting and advocating very strongly for this 15% per hour wage, not just for the families and the workers of the families, it's for the economic viability of our whole region. Thank you very much.
I agree with my co-legislators. When you think about what it is for $8.75 an hour for 8 hours, after taxes it's about $50 a day. So that's $250 a week for full time. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I have two things to say. First of all, we saw how giving the tax breaks to the very wealthy is supposed to be the trickle-down theory, and I don't think that it worked. And I think you'll find a lot of economists that don't believe it worked. I say we try this. We try to boost up our hard-working minimum wage people and see how that helps our economy. The second thing I want to say, I don't remember the details as well as our chamber member here, but when I was in high school, I did work for a fast food place for a short time. It was probably one of the hardest jobs I have ever had. I was exhausted by the end of the day. You do not get, it's just like, it's amazing how hard those jobs are. So I applaud all of you. Thank you for being here and standing up for not only you, but all your coworkers and all of our students.
Next, we're going to hear from Destiny Glenn of West Hempstead, who works at Popeyes in Hempstead. Destiny?
I'm from the Lake West Hempstead area. I work at Popeyes in Hempstead. I've been working here for about a year and a half. I've been working for low wage incomes for about 2 years, and I'm just fed up. I am also a college student, so I actually do the Kardashians. But I'm going into my junior year. I'm majoring in physics, and I want to soon get my doctorate degree. And on 875, I don't think I'll be able to achieve that goal, but hopefully with the efforts with all my coworkers and putting the pressure on Governor Cuomo and the wage board committee, we could hopefully achieve $15, and we deserve nothing less.
All right.
Next, we'll hear from Yasser Ventura of Make the Road, member and a child of a fast food worker.
Hey, how are you? Hey, my name is Yasser, Y-A-S-S-E-R, and I'm here today with Make the Road New York to talk about because like everyone else here, I believe fast food workers deserve a raise. For the past 9 years, my mom has worked in the fast food industry, earning $9 an hour. Even after almost a decade, she sees no real increase in her wage. I have witnessed her go home after long hours and be completely exhausted. She has had to work 2 jobs in order to get by. She's an employee of McDonald's and McDonald's. And it is a shame she's getting paid what she deserves. She has to pay bills like everybody else. Her 2 paychecks shouldn't be enough, but unfortunately they are not. This lack of increasing the wage has taken away quality family time from her. My mother, many times I would go days without being able to sit down and enjoy a conversation with her because of her busy schedule. My mother is serving a worker, and so are the rest of the fast food workers in New York. They deserve respect and dignity, both in getting paid fairly and treating fairly. Raising the wage for our fast food workers to $15 an hour is doable and very much needed. Enough time has passed by our workers need a 15 an hour wage now. And also, not just only fast food workers, like other works needed too. Like, and thank you for hearing me.
Next we'll hear from Michael Zweig, Director of the Center for the Study of Working Class Life for the State University of New York at Stony Brook.
Thank you very much.
I want to just add my voice to the press for $15. There's an increase in income. They say maybe, well, we'll lose the jobs. But that's a very short-sighted way to think about it. If there's increased income, it's not just for the fast food workers, it'll be spread throughout the community at low wage. That means millions more dollars are in people's pockets. They're going to spend those dollars. They're going to go to local stores. They're going to increase the demand for local products. And that's going to generate more jobs. So the idea that increasing the minimum wage costs us jobs is just not the case. And it's been shown in studies and in demonstrations all over the country. I want to say that $15 an hour, they say, well, we can't afford it. Well, who can't afford it? These people are making billions of dollars, and when we had Food and Drug Administration regulations that made safe standards for food, the employers also said, we can't afford it, you'll drive us out of business. If they can't have hamburgers that don't have rat feces in them, without making money, they shouldn't be in business. If they can't have hamburgers without paying people a decent wage, they shouldn't be in business. Yep. Now, $15 an hour sounds like a lot of money. But let me put it this way. $15 an hour is $30,000 a year. The U.S. government says that no more than 30% of people's income should be spent on housing. Otherwise, you're house poor. 30% of $15 an hour, well, that's $30,000. 30% of that is $9,000 a year. Yeah. That's $750 a month for housing. That's with the $15 wage. What kind of housing can you get on Long Island for $750 a month? And that's with that raise. So even that $15 an hour is going to leave people in a very, very precarious position. So we need to have that. Then there's another piece of this, that it's just wrong to have people working at this kind of level. Wrong to have people having to work for 3 jobs to get their paychecks together to be able to have a studio apartment like we just heard. It's just wrong to treat people that way. And if these businesses who are making billions and billions and tens of billions of dollars a year can't treat people better than that, they ought to be out of business. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I see we've also been joined by Dick Kubek, who's the chair of the Suffolk County Legislature's Welfare and Work Commission.
All right. Go Dick. Good afternoon. 2 years ago, we released a report called Struggling on Long Island, and it's a report about poverty in one of the 10 wealthiest suburbs of the United States. Basic conclusion for today, it takes a salary of $75,000 to pay your basic expenses, $75,000. The federal government says poverty is $24,000. That's ridiculous. $15 an hour is just about the poverty level. That's outrageous. Let's at least get the $15 an hour and work up to the $75,000 you need to get by here.
Next we have Kimberly Saget, organizer of the Long Island Jobs for Justice and past Walmart worker.
Yeah, Kimberly! Hello, today I don't come to you guys as an organizer, but I come today to, I used to be a low-wage worker. I worked several jobs making low wages. I am a former Walmart worker, and I used to make $8.40 an hour. That's $400. It varies, $400 to $425 every 2 weeks. That is not enough. People who are watching this, everybody that's here, just think about it. Can you survive off $400 for 2 weeks? Can you survive? Can you survive? Can you feed your children? They're single women, they're single mothers, they're students, they are elderly that are trying to pay for expenses that we're supposed to be, you know, paying. They're working very, very hard. This is a very, very hard job, especially fast food workers. The demand of customer service, having the people's food on time, having, you know, to conduct, you know, safety issues and everything like that. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. With $400 for 2 weeks, that's not enough. Are we going to take this?
No!
Are we going to take this? No! This is why we need $15 an hour. This is a start. This is $15 an hour is a start for what we need to pay for medicine, for, you know, the kids' food, for diapers, for transportation to get to work.
Yes.
We need $15 for our fast food workers, and then maybe on to our retail workers. So everybody, let's say $15 an hour.
$15 an hour.
$15 an hour.
$15 an hour.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's always a pleasure to have a person of the cloth to let us know that God is on our side.
Yes.
We have our last speaker is going to be Reverend Ron Garner of Montauk Memorial Congregational Church. Thank you.
I applaud Governor Cuomo on having this wage board, but unless the wage board here's the voice of the people, especially the low wage workers, it comes to nothing. So let's make sure that we support getting out on the 18th to support this effort on behalf of the people in our community. The greater economic inequity in our society is not only divisive, it is destructive. A living wage paid to everyone who works is not only one step towards alleviating this injustice, but it is a moral imperative. People of faith are called, in the words of Isaiah, to be repairers of the breach. A fair wage represents the primary way that we repair this breach in our society. Thank you.
What do you want? 15! When do we want it? Now!
All right. Well, that concludes our press conference today, and as was reiterated many times, that there's a lot of focus on $15 an hour, but really this should be the beginning. It's not the end. We have a beautiful community in Long Island. We want to make sure that people who work in our fast food restaurants have the ability to stay here on Long Island without having to work 2 or 3 jobs to sustain their families. This is an important issue. Please make sure you come out on June 18th to the hearing and support $15 an hour. Thank you all.
Workers united will never be defeated. Workers united will never be defeated. Workers united will never be defeated.